Hi, Coach. Ray from the Smart Tribune. With that Taurasi out, how does the game plan change for you guys?
Certainly Diana's had a good series back in Phoenix against us this year, and we struggled at times in some guard-to-guard actions. She shot the ball very well against us. So they've had a lot of this week to practice for this game, and so it will be interesting to see what's new and added, and if they stick with their same schemes, but substitute players in different positions without Diana. So, today for us, a big key is in-game adjustments. Obviously, with them having much more prep time for this game than us, so we'll have to make some adjustments on the fly on what that game plan looks like, who they substitute in, who they're starting. They could go a lot of different directions. And again, if they tweaked any actions or they use different actions more than they do with Diana, and do they go away from some of the actions that they run a lot with DT in it? So game time adjustments are big for us today.
Hey, Curt. Exciting news, I know, for Steph Talbot being named to Team Australia today, or it being official. She seemed to have unlocked something really special with De'Erica, with those 2 late assists coming off her career high against Las Vegas. What can you say about what she's showing in terms of her composure and her chemistry with Dee?
Yeah, first, I think it's her journey back from a serious injury. I think we've seen in recent years, at least my tenure in the league, that players, it's taken a little bit of time to come back from ACLs. We've actually seen maybe more immediate success on the court with players coming back from Achilles injuries. And so you can just see the confidence growing in Steph after being out for an entire season. I think you see the confidence in our system and how we're utilizing her and how we believe in her. And then, confidence that she can be the versatile, high motor, glue player that brings so much to the table. It's starting to come, and I'm really excited for Steph comfortability. There was a reason we had low turnovers the other night. With her move to the 4, it gives you another facilitator. She's already, arguably our highest assist to turnover ratio wing, and now you move her to the 4 position and just improves your ball handling, improves her facility. And she has a unique understanding of high-low passing and has the ability to get to De'Erica the ball that maybe other people don't immediately see. So it's been a fun combination to watch. And what you mentioned in the beginning, I think we knew, you never take it for granted, but you knew that she was going to be a part of the Opals. So really excited for Steph. We kid behind the scenes that we hope we see each other in the gold medal game. Got to be careful with, members of the China team and the Canadian team also on our team. But really excited that it's official for Steph. Also, don't know if you saw, but excited that on the internet that Julie was named part of the Belgium team, as we knew she would be also. So exciting news for a lot of our international stars.
Hey, Curt, you mentioned the guard-to-guard actions that Phoenix runs. I'm curious, just big picture, have you ever seen teams in W run with this much guard-to-guard screening, or do you feel like that's something Nate and Christy have brought over from their NBA experience?
Yeah, I think everything filters down. International play, NBA, G League, our league for years, things filter down. And from the time I've been in the league now 10 years, each year there's new actions that become more common in our league that maybe are run a little bit earlier in the NBA, and really trending, in all of basketball, men's basketball, women's basketball, more guard-to-guard actions, more positionless basketball, more of an emphasis on the arc. And so guard-to-guard actions, especially when you're talking ghost, where you're no longer just slipping to the basket, you're slipping up to the 3-point line, and you're putting 2 guard defenders communication, really into high demand. And are you switching things? Are you staying with things? Is there hesitation and people take advantage of it? DT's release when she goes and gets a little bit of space, is so elite of a shooter. She really makes that style of basketball work. So, obviously the influx with Nate and Becky into our league just brings a little bit more NBA emphasis, but everybody's doing it across the league. Obviously Phoenix wants to shoot threes, Huns threes, 40% of their attempts are threes, 47 to 50% of their shots in transition are threes. So even with BG back, they're still hunting, threes within their offense.
Coach, I frequently hear you and the team talking about grit. How do you define it, and why is grit such a crucial part of team success?
Yeah, again, it's just been a big part of my entire head coaching career back from the early days in the 2000s at the collegiate level is that I believe, one, you first win in the locker room, you win with great people, you win with great culture. You have to have a championship locker room before you can have a championship on the court. But grit's a part of that, and grit, handling adversity, handling tough situations, handling the highs and lows of season. That's grit off the court. Grit on the court it's a really physical game. And people that haven't seen or followed women's basketball and they start to, or newer fans to our game, are amazed at how physical our game is. So there's got to be a toughness. There's got to be an edge with these best players in the world. There's got to be a grittiness, and it's important. I'm a coach that has never inherited a team that was winning. I've always sought out and have had success building teams. And when you do that, you have to be gritty, because at times you have to overachieve and may play above what a piece of paper says. And again, you never win on paper. Proud of our win the other night against a really talented team in Vegas. Again, a really talented team in Phoenix on paper. But paper doesn't win. It's going to be the team who executes for the next 2 hours here tonight that comes away with a win. It's the team that's grittier is going to win. So that grit's really important to me on and off the court.
Curt, speaking of new fans, so imagine you're talking to someone who has just discovered how amazing women's basketball is. How would you, obviously she's not playing today, but how would you explain to them what Diana Taurasi has meant to women's basketball?
Yeah, it's just, the GOAT terminology gets thrown around a lot, right? And there's pioneers and legends of our game that came before Diana. But, the GOAT conversation should be talked about when you talk about Diana. Her longevity, her ability to still play at an elite level, her ability to persevere through injuries at times throughout her career. Also, just really special. But, I get the opportunity to be around her in USA basketball for a lot of years now consecutively. And when I have the opportunity to be a court coach in small our mini training camps, right? We get 3 days here, 2 days here, 4 days here. The first thing I request from Cheryl or anyone I've ever worked with is I get DT's team. Because when you get to coach that team, and a lot of times, the head coach will divide up to the assistants. You take the red team, you take the white team. And I want Diana because I know we're always going to be better. And you see that narrative out there going, how does she keep making those teams? I'm telling you guys, when I go to USA camps every time, when you leave mini camps 3 days and 4 days in, and we're not playing 40 minutes, but we're playing up and down and we're stopping. We're playing up and down, stopping, playing up and down, stopping. I venture to say that every single camp I've been to, the best player in camp is always DT. She leads, she makes everyone around her better. She makes it fun, but is competitive and can try to get the other great players off their game by talking trash. And it's just, until you experience it, it's just truly special to be around Diana. She's meant so much for our game for such a long time with her longevity, but she's a special player, special person, and will, history will tell the story one day of just how good she's been for our game.
Hey, Coach, can you describe what the energy was like in the locker room Friday night? And also, no Z on the injury report. What are the goals for her today? Will there be any minutes restriction?
The first part of your question, the locker room was ecstatic after the game. It was a big win for us. Obviously, you know, a tough road trip in terms of adversity, a tough road trip, that's 7 games on the road consecutively in terms of, you know, losing each one of those games. So one of the longer losing streaks in franchise history. So for us to win and win now 2 games in a row against Vegas, really special for that group, and they had to go earn it. You know, they received that you know, haymaker back at them in the fourth quarter and felt Vegas coming at them, and still they got that game into overtime and found a way to finish line, which, you know, for a young team, you just got to keep putting them in position to try to pull out those games and learn. You know, like, you learn to win. Winning just doesn't happen. You learn how to win. So, you know, really, really excited locker room, genuinely happy for each other. You know, career nights for Ari McDonald, and you can feel the confidence. You can hear the confidence that she just wanted a coaching staff to believe in her. She just wanted her opportunity at this level, and she's feeling it. You know, like Steph Talbot, you know, with big plays and a big stretch, and De'Erica continued to play well this season. Just a really special night for our group. Azare is back. She is available tonight. We plan on playing her. There is a minutes restriction that we'll keep within house. But you know, she's been now a little over a week of full contact in practices. We feel comfortable with where she is. We always had a plan to try to get her games under her belt before the Olympic break. We were hoping as many as 6. We knew it could be less than that. And so we came right in that target zone of what we had hoped after, you know, the disappointing news of her injury in April. But really excited. You know, we got to give her grace. You got to give her timing. Got to get her wind underneath her. While she's been in full contact practices, it's just not the same as going tonight. And if BG does get the green light tonight, you know, not the easiest person, you know, person out of the gate to guard and play against, but excited to have Azare back, a veteran that knows how to play, really talented, gives us another really good pro to, you know, integrate into our lineup, and look forward to it.
Last question.
Just want to ask about Steph. So after last game, you talked a bit about, you know, the entire shot was really good for her, like, you know, playing within the play. Could you expand on what that means and how Steph kind of fits into that?
Yeah, I think playing, you know, within plays. Obviously, in this league, we all have schemes, we all have plays, but ultimately, everybody scouts heavy. First actions are taken away a lot of times, and scoring actions are taken away. So ultimately, this league ends up you playing out of shapes. That's what basketball is. You're going to play out of different shapes. And so players got to go make plays in different shapes. Part of the play there at the end, she is the absolute final option. Our first 2 options weren't open. Our third option, you know, didn't really develop to a good option. And so the 4th option within that play was what we got the ball to. And so really proud in a stressful, you know, really, really important possession in the game to either lose or send it to overtime, potentially win it if it was a 3-point play, that they stayed composed and played within the play, got the ball, and Steph Talbot realized no one was coming to double her. No one was coming because they didn't want to give up a 3 to lose the game. And she stepped up and made a huge shot to send it to overtime, and ultimately gave us an opportunity to win. So for a young team, when it wasn't your first option within the final play of the regulation, for them to stay composed and within that play is, you know, great teaching opportunities for our team.
Thank you, Curt.
Thank you.
Thanks, Curt.
Thank you, coach.